I love the title, The Last Frontier, because as humans, we cannot solve the problems of climate crisis, diversity, equity, inclusion, the wealth gap, all of these big problems we're facing. We cannot solve these problems until we can relate to each other through our differences, because our differences are what we need from each other. As humans, we've had these frontiers of going to space, of solving cancer, of trying to deal with the climate, all these things that we're trying to intervene on, solve together, but we've never solved our problems between ourselves. And so this sense of being other is something that I believe humans are facing now more than ever and trying to solve. So at this retreat, I'm very, very pleased to offer a whole framework for understanding our opposite. And this framework comes first and foremost from Carl Jung's theory of what is called, very abstract sounding, contrasexuality, or sometimes called anima and animus, which are Latin terms that a lot of people don't know. But what this means, in fact, is this sense of opposite or otherness, and especially the opposite or otherness that we feel within ourselves. So, on one hand, this could be a sort of way of feeling about ourselves, that there's something within us that we don't like, that we disavow, that feels like otherness. Sometimes that otherness can be idealized. It can be something that we don't allow ourselves to become because we think it is only someone else. And this opposite within us gets projected outwards onto others. Sometimes idealized others, we fall in love. Sometimes demonized others, we want to attack, we want to, eliminate. So in this retreat, we're going to learn about, first of all, the tendency to create the opposite, and then to nail it down as though it were a person or something even in ourselves that we consider to be not me. And then what can we do with that tendency? How can that soften? How can we receive that other? And how do we relate to the other so that that relationship becomes creative? It becomes a discovery process rather than an estrangement or an alienation. So in the retreat, we'll be learning some mindfulness practices. We'll be learning some insight tools. We'll be learning how to relate to the people that we feel we cannot relate to in our present situation, as well as aspects of ourselves that we find to be other or disavowed or alienated from our usual sense of identity. I think it's going to be a great deal of fun. There will be some aspects that are didactic. We will also have experiences together. There will be a kind of immersion as a group in this inquiry about how to relate to otherness in ourselves and in other people. So I'm very much looking forward to it. It's a beautiful setting, and I know there are going to be a lot of very interesting people there. I'm looking forward to learning from others. I'm looking forward to offering what I offer and to having a very good time together. So, I would welcome complete beginners as well as very advanced practitioners in psychotherapy or in Buddhist practice, in mindfulness. The thing that is the last frontier, we have to stop making enemies. We have to relate to each other through our differences. If we don't cross that frontier together, we won't really be able to cross the others, because
Mm.
all of the things we're facing require this relating through difference. So that's the way I look at this retreat.